This episode is brought to you by Magnifi Pickleball, your premier destination for high-quality pickleball pals designed to elevate your game. At Magnifi, they are committed to providing players across Canada with innovative, performance-driven pickleball paddles crafted for durability, precision, and ease of play. Irene and myself are currently using their Gen 3 Pro paddle, and if you head over to anivia.com and enter the code AGorman15, you get 15% off your order. That's AGorman15 at anivia.com. All right, on with the show. Hey everyone, Andrew here from the Pickleball Diaries podcast. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit like and hit subscribe down below. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or any other podcasting network, make sure you give us a 5-star review at the end of the episode. It only takes a couple seconds of your time. It just really helps us out in the algorithm so we can keep bringing you this awesome content. All right, back to the episode. Thank you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pickleball Diaries podcast. I'm Andrew Gorman, joined by, of course, Victor Chan, certified pickleball referee. How's it going, Vic?
Good, everyone. Still tired. My legs is still tired from the weekend, even though I didn't play. So for everyone that knew, I didn't play. I just ref the whole day. But my refing was at 8 o'clock till the very last match, 6:30, nonstop. I didn't stop.
There's a couple times I walked over and Vic's trying to, while the players are warming up, he's like scarfing down a sandwich real quick just so he could get some fuel in. But before we get into the MiLP stuff and the CNPL stuff, it's of course we're going to talk about the big breaking news that everybody in the pickle world is talking about is UPA has an issue with QD. What's going on with that, Vic?
All right. So, okay, there's a lot of different way to say his name, right? Most people will say Quang Duong, but his real name's what was it?
Huang Yong, I think. It's
Huang Yong,
so like the D is silent at the end.
Exactly. Or people just call him QD, so it's easier. So what happened is the UPA issue a fine and a suspension to QD, a $50,000 fine. That's one. Second thing is he is suspended to play 4 matches on the MLP that's currently happening in Phoenix, Arizona. And he is also suspended on one tournament on the PPA, which is coming up very, very soon. In June, it was a cup, 1,500 point event. Why and what happened is because last week, while we were in MiLP in Calgary, he went to Vietnam, play a tournament in his hometown, just like a tournament like that. And apparently, he didn't have any permission or authorization from the UPA. And under the UPA contract, you're not supposed or allowed to play any other tournament except the MLP or the PPA. Some people may wonder, okay, why Annalie Waters playing on the U.S. Open, right? While in her contract, there is a specific clause that Annalie Waters can play U.S. Open, but QD didn't have this clause in his contract. So therefore, UPA is punishing obviously QD for doing that. Now, that's a little bit of my take on trying to defend both sides. Okay, so on the UPA side, in my defense for the UPA side, obviously he breached a contract, right? So you definitely want to punish him. Another thing is that's rumor. Apparently, QD did that. This is not the first time he did for the UPA. We know he did it on against Selkirk, right? That change of paddle, right in during a match, he changed a proton when he was signed with Selkirk. But that's another thing. But apparently, he did that somewhat during this year when he went to Vietnam. Apparently, so he was not supposed to play another tournament. And he reoffended, so that's why UPA want to deter what was happening over there. The third reason is UPA or PPA is actually having an Asian tour around the September timeframe, and one of the tour will be in Vietnam. So therefore, the UPA want to kind of secure their best player playing in their own tournament, not like playing all the other tournament, right? So that's in the defense of UPA. Now in the defense of QD. So first of all, he's playing in his hometown. He's not like going to play another U.S. tournament, right, or whatever tournament. So he's actually trying to promote sport in Vietnam, right? Another thing also, if you just do that against QD, you basically just shut off every possible expansion in Vietnam, because right now like QD is considered as god of pickleball in Vietnam. And actually Zane Navarro actually said in his pickle pod, like when he went to the statistic on how many people was listening to the pod, number 1 is USA, number 2 is Canada, and number 3 is Vietnam. So you already see Vietnam is already catching up so much on the pickleball scene. And every time you see on QD Instagram or whatever that he posts, when he plays or he does a clinic and everything, stadium is packed. It's full packed everywhere, right? So if you just do this against QD, do you think he's gonna promote PPA? He's not gonna promote your UPA because of it. So you basically shut down the whole Vietnam market on them because of that. So this is like kind of my defense on both sides. For me, I think is a lose situation.
Yeah, and for me, it's I honestly think UPA had an axe to grind with him. And this was just, okay, this is where if we follow the contract to the letter, this is how we can get him. Like, I think because of the thing with Selkirk was probably complaining to them about that. The thing with Ben Johns, where Ben Johns tried to headhunt him and crap like that. So because I don't want to say a polarizing player, but he's basically the up and comer, and some of the old heads, even though I'm a lot older than Ben Johns, have problems with his antics, right? Or how he goes about himself. And I think this was the UPA's way of getting, okay, we're going to get this guy. And to me, that is a very stupid way to go about business. Like you said, Vic, this guy, like if I want to use, I'm married to a Filipino, so I'll use a Filipino terminology. This would be like boxing suspending Manny Pacquiao back when Manny Pacquiao was like up and coming because he went and did a boxing match in the Philippines. And like for the longest time, Manny Pacquiao was like a god in the Philippines, to the point where he became like a congressman and stuff when he went back.
Yeah, I know. He's big, like he's untouchable.
Right. So or it would be like, Jackie Chan in China. It's like, oh, we're not going to let him do a movie in the U.S. because he went back to Hong Kong and did a movie there, type of thing. Like if you're looking at a movie side of things, like it doesn't make sense. Like him just being there and promoting pickleball, I can guarantee you they announced him. Oh, hey, UPA star Quang Duong, right? Like, is what they would have probably said on the announcement when he's doing his clinics, when he's doing that. Like, they were showing pictures of him playing in any of the UPA events. So, like, to me, it's dumb. Like, you're punishing this guy for basically promoting the sport in another country. And if you really want, and like, it's not a threat to the UPA. Like, no. I could understand more if he was up in Canada doing something, or if it was like APP.
Exactly, play APP
right?
Or the US Open,
where it's a direct competitor in the same country, but he's across the ocean in a country where you have no bearing over there whatsoever, aside from the fact that you have their most popular player.
Yeah,
playing for you already under contract. So like this would be the equivalent of CNPL suspending Christina Chin if Christina Chin went back to or went over to China and did a thing, or like Eugene Ma went over to China because they have the Chinese hair roots, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it would be the same thing. They went over there, put on a clinic, competed in a tournament, and CNPL was like, well, you competed and it wasn't under our things, so you're suspended for the next event. It doesn't make sense. It's like it's promoting it. Like that's one big thing I'm going to give a shout out to Yui from CNPL. He goes and promotes stuff in China. He's pushing that in China. He wants the collaboration, right?
Yeah,
Like
and
it doesn't make sense.
I think one more thing that needs to be mentioned also is like last week there's nothing going on for him. His team because right now we call the MLP season. There's not much PPA event going on. Like his team, the Los Angeles Mat Drops, not even playing last week. So like and I can see on his Instagram like after playing last week, it's not like he's staying in Vietnam. He right away came back to the state in Phoenix right away training. So he was ready to play in the MLP. So he's like he's not ghosting the league. Like he's not saying, "Oh, I'm going to play Vietnam. I'm gonna skip the PPA or the MLB." No, he's coming right back and ready to play. So he's like, "What's the matter, right?"
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I have a free weekend. I'm gonna fly over to my home country, put on a bunch of stuff there, promote the game of pickleball, come back and be ready to play for my team. Like what Ben Johns did, in my opinion, is 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Than what QD did. Like QD was promoting the game. Ben Johns was just throwing a freaking hissy fit and taking his ball and going home. Right? Like this is bad business.
It's a big double standard right now. Basically Ben Johns get away almost nothing out of it. Okay, yeah, he forfeited his money. Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't get charged a fine. He didn't get suspended. Nothing. Like it's bad business. Like why are you trying to kill the promotion of the sport? Because like ultimately, like if you're gonna say the UPA or the PPA is the best in the world, right? Because this happens a lot in North America where North America has a league and this is the best team in the world, and yet no, you're the best team in this league or the best team in North America, right? You haven't gone competed against other world's best. Yes, more than likely, kind of like basketball, more than likely the U.S. is going to win because they've just had the program for longer.
Yeah.
Now that's starting to catch up to the U.S. a little bit quickly now with basketball, but like you want, if anything, the PPA should be saying, oh yeah, this is a PP. Like it's like, oh, Quang Duong's going there. Hey, let's back that and say, hey, this is a PP thing. We want to help the growth there. Maybe even get like a league, like a PPA kind of function league, kind of like what Duper's doing, where Duper has Duper China, Duper has like Duper in like Vietnam, Duper has like obviously in Canada now, like MILP is now in Canada, MILP is now in China, right?
Well, Andrew, I think I actually said the reason because there is one of the events going to be a PPA Vietnam. It's going to happen during the September timeframe, and the PPA was just was afraid what QD is doing is going to stir up and start their own league, and then it's going to compete against that PPA Vietnam when they're going to play over there.
That, in my opinion, that's stupid thinking. If anything, him being there, doing that event, doing those things is upping the thing, saying, oh, hey, QD is going to be back here in a couple months playing against the best that the PPA has to offer. He's going to be playing against Ben. So not only do you get to see QD and cheer for him, he's going to be going against Ben Johns. He's going to be playing against Annalie Waters, Catherine Parento, Tyson McGuffin, all those players. Like, if anything, it's like a precursor.
Yeah.
Right? Well, it doesn't make sense. And now, if anything, if I was QD, I'd be like, screw you guys. I'm not going to go to that tournament now.
Well, it is because think about it. Okay, I got it. They want to protect their investment, but like right now in Vietnam, there's no APP or whatever Vietnam Open. There's it's nothing that big is gonna compete against the PPA. Like, why you want to try to shut it down when there's nothing going on, and you have one of the largest Asian market right now which is Vietnam, that's so much up and coming. And that 50,000 fine, okay, is a big fine for most of the player. Do you think QD care? Like, I'm pretty sure when he went to Vietnam, he's gonna get paid more than this. Like, he's like some of the podcasts already said that his new sponsorship with SidePick is more than $500,000. He doesn't give a crap.
No, yeah. Well, if anything, the only thing he gives a crap about is now it's like you're screwing over his team in MLP, right?
Yes.
Like PPA, not as big of a deal because players sit out events all the time, either to recover or whatever, right? But the MLP one is the one where you're punishing his team more than you're punishing him.
Well, actually, it has a big impact because right now he was supposed to slate to play, so one of the men sub wasn't get called to come to play in Phoenix. So now suddenly, because QD couldn't play, they have to call up another player to play, which is Spencer Smith, but he wasn't into the draft. So now every time the men's double and one of the mixed double, they have to start off 0-1.
Yeah, right. So already you're like, if I was the owner of that team, I'd be calling up UPA head office and be like, what the hell? What are you doing?
You're screwing up
me.
the team.
I invested money into your league and you're screwing me over like this. Like, so for me, it's a total, like,
it couldn't be handled better than this, I will say.
It didn't even, like, all you had to do is say, hey, QD, next time you go, let us know, and like how maybe we'll back it, or maybe like, you know, whatever. But it's like throwing that fine down, doing the suspensions, like you said, double standard, because like what I thought what Ben Johns did in MLP was way worse.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Totally bailing on his team. And this was promoting the sport in another country. Like, yeah, the PPA has one event there, every 2 years, maybe?
Even so.
Yeah, I'm like, so him going there on his own when he has a free weekend, going down and doing that, promoting the sport, is just a precursor. It's like, oh, hey, this guy, like when the fans are watching, this guy's really good. Oh, and in a couple months from now, he's going to be playing again against the best that the league he's playing in has to offer. It would be like, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but think of like an Australian or a Chinese-born or a Japanese-born player playing in the NBA right now, and they went and played like a charity tournament back at home, like in Australia or something, and then like a couple months from now the NBA is going to do a special there where it's like whatever team that guy's on. Oh, Joey Ingles is a good one. Joey Ingles is an Australian who plays in the NBA. So say Joey Ingles on like a free weekend or before the NBA season started, went back to Australia, played in like a league tournament there, and like fans came out because like same thing, he's like huge down in Australia, right? And then you find out, oh, for a preseason game or whatever for the NBA, his team that he's on is going to be playing, say, an exhibition game against, I don't know, the Lakers, right? Oh, so we get to cheer for Joey now, but then Joey's going to be coming back and he's going to be playing against like LeBron. If anything, that's going to build up hype, right? But the equivalent of that is now the NBA is going to suspend him, so he won't even be there, right? Well, that's the equivalent of that. It doesn't make any sense. Or like with the NHL, when the NHL went to Sweden a couple years ago, and like William Nylander for the Toronto Maple Leafs was playing. Oh, William Nylander went back a couple months before the NHL season started, played in a charity game, but now the NHL is going to suspend him for that game in Sweden. Literally, the guy was there, and he was like, same thing, like a god while he was there, right? I was like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right. It's promotion without you having to do anything. The player is doing this on his own with his paddle sponsor. Right. It doesn't make sense. It's short-sighted, and for me, it's stupid and bad business.
It is, but so there is some speculation, like we said, we don't have like the full picture. Like we don't know, does QD did that multiple times that prompted the UPA to do that deterrence suspension and fine. On the other side, people also was commenting QD could be actually using this to leverage UPA to actually negotiate a better contract for him, because he basically doesn't give a crap right now.
Well, yeah, but they're losing that. So by suspending him, what is that telling him? Okay, we don't really care what you do. So okay, well, I can go back there, back home, and make probably triple the amount of money I'm making here in the States,
through. Because think about how much sponsorships would he get if he went there and played full time.
Oh, jeez, man. It's
Like
big,
he'd be on
whole
every box of cereal or rice or noodle boxes or whatever, pop drinks, whatever. You can't tell me there wouldn't be a picture of him down like every like street.
Oh, babe, it's gonna be
Right, like
it's gonna
he
be big time. Oh, yeah, yeah.
he'd be living the life of luxury for the rest of his life. Like if he just went, okay, I'm gonna go play there from now on. Screw you guys. So that hurts UPA. That does not hurt him.
No, he's gonna promote even better.
Like if anything,
better
you
over
should.
there.
And like I said, I've probably said this about 30 times already, and we're only like 20, 30 minutes into this episode. But like, it's free promotion for pickleball.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, pickleball started in the States, and you're trying to grow the game globally. That's how you get more fans, is globally. Right, like NBA has proved that the NBA like freaking leapfrogged the NHL in the 90s, and now is like next to soccer. Right, it's like second in North America, just behind football, and then on the world stage, I think it's soccer and cricket are the only two things that are bigger than basketball right now. And whereas before NBA was like, yeah, whatever, right? But then the 90s they made that global push, right? And
yeah, anyway, I like I said, it was I would say a lose-lose situation. We definitely will see whatever the both sides gonna do, and yeah, we'll see. We'll go from there. We'll move on and see if there's any new development from them.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on to some more, I guess, not as well, I can't even think of words right now. Not as annoying news. So
controversial. There you go.
Controversial. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. It's been a long day. All right. So, of course, we were down in Calgary last weekend at the Mega Courts MiLP event for their grand opening. Me and Irene went down there. Of course, Victor couldn't play with us because he was reffing. Anya couldn't play with us. Originally, she thought she couldn't go, but then she ended up playing for another team because we had found her replacements already. So that was kind of funny when we had to play her. It took us a bit to get our footing. I'll start with our team first. We went 1-4, but realistically, we probably should have went, I want to say 3-2, if I'm being honest about the teams we played. Me and Irene are still we finally kind of got it by our last 2 to 3 games. Because me and Irene are notoriously more grinding out the points and stuff inside out scoring, whereas I find we keep letting ourselves, we get down by like 3 or 4 right off the hop in this rally scoring. And we finally kind of got our flow going because we played a really good game against Kim Layton and Chris Lane, which was really fun playing against 2 pro players. It was actually, I want to say 11-10 at the half switch. We ended up losing 21-16, but we had some really, really good rallies, some great hand battles. And then shout out to Kim and Chris for saying, hey, great game, guys, and stuff like that. So that was a really fun one. We got swept by Jacob's team. That one was, I know in the mixed one, it was me and Irene not adjusting quick enough. I think we should have pulled a reverse stack a little bit quicker just to change up the looks. And then me and Ben fell just a little bit short of beating the guys team. And we got a little bit of tunnel vision in that one. But then our last game, we kind of put it all together. We won our last game against the eventual 4th place team. And then we won the men's. Me and Irene handled our mixed one very, very well. Same thing, we got down by 3 at first, and then we pulled a reverse stack, and then the other team didn't know what to do with that. And we didn't actually call a timeout and switch. We just were pulling a stack off. Yeah, switching it off on the fly like you do in a regular side-out scoring, and that worked really well for us. So we're going to take that momentum and move it forward. Also, if you're keeping track with MiLP, on the Full Send Pickleball website now, they do actually have the rankings. They haven't
I think you're 3rd or 4th, something like that. I saw that.
Me and Irene are tied for 3rd and 4th. However, they have not added the Mega Courts one in there yet. It's as of May 15th. So obviously, Jacob's going to jump us, Ava's going to jump us, Bradley's going to jump us, and stuff like that. But I think we'll still be, by the end of that, in the top 10. or at least somewhere around the top 15, which is still pretty good, seeing how we technically haven't won one yet, right? So, because you get 1,000 points for winning, and then it's 900, 800, all the way down to like 10th, and then anything after 10th, you get 50 points. And we've always been in like the top 5, 6. So we're always getting about 500 points ish, 500, 600 points each time. So it's still pretty good. So we'll quickly shout out the winners, and then we'll go kind of into a review of the facilities. So Duper 12, it was Dink Around and Fine Out that won. Duper 14, the Magnificent Four. Duper 16, Big Dink Energy. Duper 18, Swedish Kitchen Mafia, which is an awesome name. And then Duper 20 was Jacob and them's team at with TNC. So congratulations to all the winners with that. As far as the Mega Courts facility, all the courts were nicely spaced. There was a decent amount of room on the sides and on the back. You had lots of space. I could actually do my regular serve and not have to worry about hitting the fence, which was nice. It got a little chilly in there, which was surprising, but I think they just jacked up the AC because it was really hot outside that day. I think it was like plus 30, so they might have just jacked up the AC because anyone who wasn't playing, I know.
Was cold.
It was funny because Lester, who's one of Vic's regular partners, and my partner Ben's dad, he went back out to the car and got blankets.
Yeah, it was. That's crazy. I was like, why is so cold? Like in the morning, I was like, okay, yeah, but there's no one playing, right? So okay, that facility was cold. But I was looking at the clock, like, why is 1 o'clock and it's like it's freaking freezer in here?
Yeah,
like,
exactly, right.
I don't know if it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, like at the same time, because with all those people in there, it's gonna get hot, right? But at the same time, you're like, okay, now it's cold, so you don't sweat that much. So anyway.
Yeah, so I think if you're playing all the time standpoint, it wasn't a big deal. It was actually probably good, if anything, because you weren't sweating as much. If you're a spectator, or if you say had a big break in between games, that's when it became an issue, because you didn't want to cool off too much, because then you'd are worrying about cramping or pulling something, so you wanted to stay warm. Now, luckily for our division, we had 6 teams and 3 courts, so you were finishing and then almost going into the next game. You might have had maybe like a 20-minute break, but then you had an open court to go warm up on. Right, so there wasn't really a lot of stoppage for our division, which was nice. The games were really, really good. I want to say the Duper 20 division probably, especially with the inclusion of a couple more pro players in that division, was definitely a higher caliber of pickleball than what we played in at the YEG.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there was a couple teams in the one at the YEG where they probably should have been in Duper 18. It was just their Dupers were slightly too high. Whereas this one, you could say every team deserved to be in that Duper 20 category.
Right. I agree.
So,
the level of play was pretty good. I think I pretty much ref exclusively the Duper 20 category. So I've been able to see most of the matches, and there's a lot of very, very close matches, which is good to see. And the caliber, everything was pretty good.
Yeah, I think the only team that was consistently blowing out people was the women's team on Kim Layton's team, which was Kim Layton and Anna Dashenko, which that was to be expected.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the closest the team got was maybe 15 points, which isn't bad, but like everything else was like super close. Like I said, me and Irene got 16 against Chris, Elaine, and Kim with that team. I think we got, and us not playing our best, we got 13 or 14 against Jacob and Ava. And like I said, that one I should have pulled a switch quicker, because it was just we were getting stuck at a stalemate, and then it was just me and Irene making little mistakes. So if we would have just pulled the reverse stack, I think that just would have changed up some looks for us. But other than that, it was really good. I thought obviously probably could have used 1 or 2 more refs to give you guys a break.
I was tired, man. Oh,
right.
Man, at the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, can I sit? Just sit. I just want to sit, because my legs was so tired. Oh my God.
Yeah, we went for dinner with Vic's family after, and Vic had trouble getting out of his seat after the dinner was over. So.
It was worse than playing. I have a feeling. Yeah. It's definitely like playing. At least you have a time, a break time in between games and something like that. I was like, no, I'm reffing the whole 4 games, and both of there's quite a bit that went to Dream Breakers. So I was like, I'm reffing 5 games. It's like
Yeah,
Jeez.
exactly, right. So, but yeah, so as far as the facility goes, like I said, the courts had really good spacing. A little cold. It is kind of an awkward setup with the 3 tennis courts in there.
Yeah,
There
I
was
agree.
now there was people using the tennis courts the entire time we were there, so it's not like it's not being used. But like for design, for myself, if I was thinking of a design thing, I would have either stuck the tennis courts in the back and like
Mhm.
straight against the wall. So that way it's more of a separation. Whereas this one, you kind of had the pickleball courts doing like this U shape around the 3 tennis courts, right? So it's kind of just
Which
an awkward build.
which is weird. That's one, and second can be annoying because those yes, the fence was high, but tennis ball bounced quite high, and it did happen a couple of times. The tennis ball bounced over and into into the pickleball court, and that ball can be a little bit faster than a regular pickleball court, right? A pickleball ball, right? So that I can see maybe there's some safety issue that can come coming in if that tennis ball sometimes, like for example, someone smash hard on that tennis ball and then comes out fast from out of it, and someone was just didn't see the ball because they're playing at the net and get hit by that tennis ball. Might as well, okay, that was after, will be after a bounce, but still that could happen.
Yeah, right. So whereas I think if you would have had them all against the one back wall, and then all you really need then is you don't need as much fencing. You can just put it really high on the side facing into the
Almost
pickleball
like a
courts.
drape. You can put it like a full drape, and then you don't need to put like that fencing on that. That'll be perfect.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, that's hindsight 2020 when designing type of thing like that. So, but yeah, other
But
than that, I really,
of it is just that's just us renting, right? We're not designer. We're not.
oh yeah, yeah, like and that's not a shot against it. Like I said, really nice facility. There's ample parking, which was nice.
Mhm.
Um, I wouldn't mind
Quite
saying,
a bit of space of washroom and dressing room. I'm just some people was maybe just put in a comment they could have also a shower, but anyway, it is what it is.
ah, that's with something like that where it's just the one thing being played. I'm not as big on showers. Now, if it was a shared facility with something else, then yes. Right?
Hmm.
Like say if you had like for example, if we talk about like Ray's Athletics, when they finish building everything, they should have a shower there because you got basketball, you got volleyball, you got soccer, you got pickleball, right?
Yeah.
Like that makes sense. You should have a shower in the change room there. Here where it's just a pretty much pickleball and tennis facility, I don't see the need for it's a plus. It's not necessarily a necessity.
Hmm. Well, it's like those newer facility are coming. We're talking about like Pickler coming to Toronto, Pickler coming also in Winnipeg, and they're gonna have like a full array of a gym facility plus all pickleball in there, and they're gonna include like a full changing room and anything. So I think some facilities should maybe look ahead and
Yeah.
think this through, right? Because otherwise, right now in Edmonton, not a shot of any of the facility, but most of the Edmonton indoor facility seems to be very like I call that monotone, pretty the same as like they're just doing the same thing, copying each other, and then just putting uh the different side of the city. Except Race Athletic, obviously they have much bigger facility, and hopefully they finish the um locker room
Yeah.
some time. But all the others, like you talk EPC, you look at the pickleball hubs, and then you look at the YEG. The only thing they're offering is just pickleball, and then just go in and go out. There's nothing like it's gonna be able to retain a little bit those players, like you have a little bit more places to chat, like having like a not necessarily a restaurant, but like just a quick grab and go bar, or just a drink bar over there, adding a gym somewhere. Or EPC was thinking about on the very back corner having like a physio clinic, but it never gets started. So those are the things, like when there's more and more facility opening and you want to be like stand out against other facility, you need to do something else.
Yeah, and actually, I'll give a shout out to the one. It's that badminton place in Leduc that has,
Modu.
yeah, Modu, yeah, where they got three or four pickleball courts in the back, but they have upstairs. They have that little kind of cafe restaurant where
Yep.
you can go chill out on the couches, have some snacks while, say, if you're not playing or you're waiting your turn to go play, and stuff like that. Like just something like that, because it just makes same thing. Like if your parent, like I know pickleball's not quite at that spot yet where we have lots and lots of juniors playing, but when it gets to that point, kind of like how badminton has constant flow of kids going in and playing, parents can go sit up there, chill out, have a coffee, have like a snack or something while the kids are doing their drills with their coach, right? So something like that. But yeah, it's getting there. It's good to see Calgary get another facility and a nice big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's with stuff constantly growing and stuff, it's going to get to the point where now you have to start offering what else. Because yes, I can go anywhere now and play on a court, but now what else are you offering? Are you offering like a little cafe thing? Like I'll give a shout out to one that's opening in GP. It's not quite open yet, but it's called, I want to say it's called like the Paddle Room or something. It's actually going to be in the GP Mall. It's only going to have, I think, 3 courts, but it's also going to have, I think it has some golf simulators off to the side. It's going to have a little like coffee / kind of bar area. So it's almost it's almost going to be like more of a pickleball social place. Now, I don't know how, like it's not finished. I haven't been there and checked it out yet. Like I'll probably, when it does get finished, I'll go in and give a check out, like see how the floors are and stuff like that. But the fact that they're adding that stuff in there, right, shows you that we're not just offering pickleball. We're offering like you can play pickleball, but then you can hang out, have a drink, and chat for a bit after. You don't have to go somewhere else as well. Like it's keeping them in the facility, getting people to spend more money, stuff like that, right? And that just helps you.
Exactly, and I think in Ontario they are actually starting it with I think it's called Pickleplex. There's one they opened. The most recent one was in Barrie, Ontario. I know it because I went on a course last year. It wasn't open yet, but they started the like the concept and stuff like that. They have like I think 6 or 8 courts in a shopping mall basically. So basically, if you're waiting for your court, you can go do your shopping and then come back and play or something like that. So which is a very cool concept to implement.
Yeah, exactly. And like we said, not all of these facilities have to host tournaments, but if they're not going to host tournaments, you have to offer something extra. Right. And that's perfect. Okay. You're inside of a shopping circuit. People can go shopping right after. You're in, you have a little restaurant up there. You have like a bar or whatever. You have your liquor license. Then you make yourself a social destination as well. Right. So it's all those little different things that all these facility owners are going to have to think of.
Definitely. And at the same time, there will be all like just be thinking through. There will be always some downtime in the season. Like right now in Edmonton, a lot of people is so eager to play outside. So your indoor facility might get lower and lower traffic because of people trying to play outdoors, right? So you have to find a way to diversify your kind of your investment, right? If you can hold them playing pickleball, maybe you can hold them doing something else like a bar, eating something, or maybe doing some like golf simulator coaching, whatever, right? So that will you don't have like just one source of revenue. You have multiple sources of revenue that can offset one down season up to the other.
Yeah, and honestly, if it was me, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna do pickleball camps all summer for kids. Like, the kids are out of school now, so now you can do like those earlier in the day camps and stuff like that. And even if you only get a couple right like for the first 1 or 2, you build up the word of mouth. You build up the info. It's like, okay, and then you can start getting like all those kids coming, right? Or you offer like discounts for kids or whatever to come play. Okay, drop-in fee is $5 for everyone else, $2 for the kid on say Wednesdays. I don't know, but like, something like that. Yes, it takes a hit in your pocket at first, but the whole point is to build the customer base. It's no different than owning a restaurant. Like for example, for me, because we own a Subway. Yes, coupons we don't make money on. The whole point of a coupon though is not necessarily for your customers you already have. Yes, it's a bonus for them, but it's to bring in the customers that you wouldn't normally come in. Get that and see if you can get them hooked on your on your product, on how you serve and stuff like that, right? If that's the whole point of that. And this is what these facilities need to start doing more is, okay, yes, you're coming for the pickleball. We know that. What else can we do to get you to maybe come more often or spend a little bit more money here or whatever, right? So it's one of those things. This is going to be a slow learning process because everyone right now is just like, hey, we need courts. Okay, so everyone, all the facility owners, okay, here's courts. Here we go. We address the initial need, but now it's like, okay, now you need to expand.
Yeah, exactly. Because we will at some point we're gonna hit we call court saturation, and then once you hit that court saturation, then some of the facility might suffer.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so that was Mega Court. So the next two MLP events coming up is at the iPop in Burnaby this coming weekend, June 7th and 8th. They got Duper 12 all the way up to Duper 22. And then they just announced Montreal Pickleball on July 19th in Kirkland, Quebec. And same thing, Duper 12 up to Duper 20. So if you're in Quebec, hey, this is the first event since the qualifier. So make sure you get in there and get some games and see if you can jump me and Irene on the leaderboard in the Duper 20. iPop Burnaby, if Vivian's playing again with Love Crunch, they might win again. So Vivian's number one in the Duper 20 category. She's won every tournament she's been in so far for MILP. So Vivian, you might as well keep going and keep getting that cash and keep getting that ranking up. So but yeah, those are the next two events. So yeah, so then the funny thing is that iPop one is the same time as the Eastern Split, but obviously it ain't the pros playing in that one, right? So get in there, get your teams in there. I think there's still a couple spots left in some of the divisions, so we'll keep an eye on that. I'm gonna have to message UE again and tell him to send us the code so we can keep track of who's winning and stuff. Yeah. Nick, we'll get you to message someone who at the Kirkland one.
Yeah, I'll probably ask Ernesto. He probably knows.
Yeah, right. So yeah, so keep an eye on that one, guys. The tournaments are very, very fun. You get lots of games in, which is nice. And because of the round robin thing, so it's not 2 games and you're out. You're getting at least like 6 games every single time. And then if you have groups and if you have pools of 6, you're getting a guaranteed 10. Right. Yep. So it's fun. And now moving on to CNPL. So the first announcement we have is CNPL has partnered with Magnifi, which is by Videoverse. It's like an AI digital strategy thing. So it'll help them with their social media stuff, getting replays on their live streams and stuff like that. So basically, I'll read the first paragraph of the announcement. So Magnifi's cloud-based SaaS platform automatically detects and captures key in-game moments, producing highlighted clips that instantly distribute across digital and broadcast channels. The platform's advanced AI also identifies sponsor branding, on-court signage, paddles, and my screen is shrinking here.
Player
uniforms, enabling CNPL to produce customized branded content to deliver comprehensive ROI reports to partners like Onyx and Tyrell. So yeah, so basically it just makes advertising and replay stuff easier for the CNPL. They don't have to have like 5 people trying to do it live on court. Because me and Vic know when we were at championships last year, it was, okay, we need some footage. Okay, we need to set this up. I need to make the graphics for this. I need to post this right away before the next game starts, right? So
yeah,
it'll just help them with that, and that's awesome that they're getting this team to come in and partner with them with that. So that's awesome with that. Now, teeing up the Eastern Split at the Royal Westcourt Social Club in Montreal this coming weekend. This is only going to be on Game Plus, at least from the sounds of it, because there is only going to be 1 court, and that's because we only have 4 teams going. Like we said on the last podcast, the Eastern Split and Western Split are only going to feature the Eastern and Western teams. So the Eastern teams are the Montreal Lions, the Toronto United, the London Smash, and the Southwestern Ontario Brewers, right? So if you look at the schedule on the CNPL website, it's just showing 1 game at a time in a single court.
Yeah, so, and which I'm a little disappointed because I won't be able to watch it. I don't have cable, sorry.
Yeah, I'll be PVRing it on my TELUS because it's me and Irene's anniversary that weekend, so we are going camping with the kids.
Nice, nice.
But we'll be back.
Congrats.
Thanks.
How many years? How many
17.
years? Oh, wow, nice.
17 years this year, so that's awesome. So we'll be going camping the Friday and Saturday. We'll be coming back Sunday, so I'll probably be binge watching Sunday through into Monday. Hopefully, I don't have to work on Monday, and then I can get it all down, and then we can do our review of it. 10 a.m. Eastern time, just like the previous events. And the big thing is none of these teams have played each other yet. Like at the Central Split, it was only East teams versus West teams. There was no East versus East or West versus West. So this Eastern Split coming up and then the West Split that's going to follow in Burnaby, this is where you're really going to see how all these teams match up. Because, yes, they've played cross division now, but they have not played each other yet. So the Lions are 6-0, Toronto United is 4-2, the Smash are 3-3, and the Brewers are 2-4. Now, the Brewers, though, 3 of those losses were on the first day, and they kind of picked it up the second day. So they were starting to find their game. The Smash, on the other hand, started 3-1, and then they lost their last 2, but both of those were in tiebreaker singles at the end of the event. So it's one of those things is, okay, if they clean up their game a little bit, they probably could have been like 5-1. Yeah, type of thing, right? And then same thing, Toronto United started off a little bit slow in that first game and then kind of found their footing and moved on. And then the Lions were the only team realistically that came out of the gate flying. Yep. And with all 4 of these teams, they all have really, really good men's teams, and it can kind of go either way on that. So it's really going to come down to the women's and the mixed teams. And right now, I'm going to give the women's team the nod to the Lions right now. They only lost 1 women's game. And they lost it 20 and they lost it 21-20. Yeah. Right? So
and we'll see if Anne-Sophie is going to still be in fire, or do we gonna see Emily coming in subbing some of the matches for with Stevie? We'll see. I don't know yet. I have a feeling Emily might be coming in to sub some of the matches.
Yeah, we'll see. Because and it's funny because with the Lions, you have Emily there, who is obviously an insanely good player. But the Lions are notorious for only taking 4 players.
True,
and I think they only did it for 1 event where they had the subs there, and even the subs I think only got in for 1 game last year.
I still have a feeling Emma is going to play because Stevie is will be currently playing at the PPA Challenger in boys, so she might be getting some tournament fatigue if she just play a tournament and she's going to play the next one right away.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I guess either that or she's going to come in hot because she was just playing at a high level. Yeah. So it depends. But yeah, I can see the Lions. I don't think they're going to use Charles at all. It's going to be Ernesto and LC all the way through. They didn't use the male counterpart last year, I think, at all. Yeah. He might have got in for 1 game, maybe, I think, last year. Whoever the third male was, I forget. So I apologize.
That's a big wow. But might be. Let's see if I can dig.
But
it's been a while though.
But the Lions are known for only playing 4, maybe 5 players max, and I think they only did the 5 players thing once last year. Every other time they just went, okay, this is our 4. We're going with our 4, and let's go. And like we said last year, you saw the effects around the end of the first 2 events where they started to tire out. But like we said, this year they're only playing 6 games. They're playing 3 a day. So that's only a total of 6 matches, maybe throw in a tiebreaker there a day.
Last year was Mathieu Morneau.
Yeah, and I think Matt got in for, 1 game, if that. Mm-hmm. Right? So with the Lions, I think they're going to go with their 4. And then just run with that. Toronto United, like we said, probably has the most consistent women's, for all 3 women. It doesn't really matter who you sub in; it's a consistent team, right? Whether it's Jada, whether it's Sneha, or whether it's Jordy. So it'll be okay, who do we want to counterpunch with what? Because obviously Sneha and Jordy are more kind of the counterpunching. We're going to reset and set up our partner, whereas obviously Jada's more of the powerhouse with the drives, with the tennis background. Yeah. So I'm interested to see who they put up against the Lions team because I don't know. I'd almost be more aiming with Jordy and Sneha to counteract the hard punching of Anne-Sophie. Because Anne-Sophie wants that power game, and if it's her and Jada, it's going to be, okay, who is going to... Now, Jada might overpower her, but we don't know yet, right? So do you play it safe and go with the counterpunch, or do you try to match power for power in that matchup? That's going to be a really interesting matchup. And that, honestly, for Toronto United, is going to be their litmus test, because it's like, hey, this is last year's champion. They're 6-0 coming into this event. This Toronto United team has like the championship aspirations. They're pushing to get back up there into the finals. This is the team you're going to have to probably beat at some point, right? So this is where, okay, how are we doing? Like, the guys are pretty even. Like Matt and Max versus Ernesto and LC. That's going to be a barn burner of a match, and either team can kind of come out on top on that. It's going to come down to the women's and then the mixed matches.
I just remember, I think also Stevie from Lions will be also playing with Maximilian Wild from Toronto United in this weekend, just for your information.
Oh, there you go. Cool, right? So, hey, that's another good thing about CNPL. It brings people to play together, because I was like, Ernesto and Ryan Tornson were playing together in a tournament, I think last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So yeah, so then you have the Smash, same thing, super strong men's team, and then you have the really strong mixed team of Jess and Ryan, and then it comes down to that, the women's pairing, who's going to go in with Jess, and how are they going to work? Because both women do a good job. Serena is more of the kind of, has a little bit more power to her game than Stella does, but Stella's also an insanely good with the resets. Like, if you get stuck on the back court, she's very, very good at getting that drop to get yourself back up to the line, right? So it depends, like, who are you playing? Do you want to try and counteract their team with this team, or what do you want to do with that, right? So that's where it kind of comes down to for the Smash. Like, their men's team is super strong. Like we said, every men's game in this event,
the men's gonna be very close. It's the women's gonna make the difference.
They're all gonna be electric games on the men's, and it can go either way for all four of these teams. And like we said, it comes down to the women's, and it comes down to some of the mixed pairings, right? Exactly. Same thing for the Brewers. Like Mark and Eugene were very, very good as a men's team. And then it was the women. So like you had and I think Ava has kind of right now won that women's starting spot over Tara. Just the way the day two kind of went. Like her and Amanda seemed to click a little bit better, and Ava also teamed really well with Mark in the mix, taking like we said, because Mark likes to take like that 70% of the court. Ava was really, really good when she was handling her 30% there. She had really, really good resets, really, really good counter punches, right? So then it comes down to Eugene and Amanda. And then, of course, Kyle Hermetz can jump in there too, because him and Eugene can rotate pretty well with that. So like we said, the men's game is pretty even. It comes down to the women's, comes down to the mix. And then if it goes to Dream or tiebreaker, because Dreambreaker's trademarked, I'm gonna have to remember that. I'm gonna have to remember that next time we do commentary, because it's tiebreaker for CNPL, because Dreambreaker is trademarked by MiLP. But when it comes down to that, anyone can have a good singles event.
Yeah,
right.
Well, also just a quick anecdote from the last weekend. So you have the final match was the Chris Elaine, Kim Layton, Anna Dychenko with I think the other guy was Ken something. That team playing against Jacob, Ava, Bradley, and Claudia's team, and then they both team went to Dreambreaker, and then they still thought, because they just finished playing from the CNPL, so they thought that it's a tiebreaker. So they every rotation is going to be a three rally, but it wasn't. But because now it's Dreambreaker's 4-point rally. They all screw up a little bit. I have to call that. Wait, guys, you're not done. There's four point to play, and they're like, oh man, it's like anyway. Yeah, it's just fun. It was just funny.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to come down to that. I'm really interested to see which team kind of comes out on top, because each team is they're each playing each other twice, right? So I'm gonna, until the Lions get beat, I'm giving the Lions the nod. Like, undefeated. I think they went to that tiebreaker twice at the last event, and then they won pretty handily in the tiebreaker, right? Because Anne Sophie is an insanely good singles player. Stevie held her own very, very well, and of course both Ernesto and Elsie are very, very good singles players as well, right? So even if you force the Lions into that tiebreaker, it's like, okay, who are you going against? Because all of them are very like formidable singles players. So it's almost like they have the advantage even if you go to that anyways. But right now it's like who can beat the Lions women's team? And
True.
like and slow down Anne Sophie, because like I said, they only lost one at the last one, and the team just barely beat them. It was like 21-20, right? So it's slowing down that Lions women's team, trying to steal one of those. And same thing, the team of Anne Sophie and LC right now, same thing, only one loss, and it was by 21-20.
Yeah.
So right now that's the hardest. I would love to see them go up against Jessica and Ryan, and see who gets the better of that match, type of thing. And same thing, like have Mark and like Ava go up against that for the Toronto United. I would say probably, and see the Toronto United's a little bit hard because it depends on which females they got in there, right? Because I think with if Jada's playing with Max, and then I think Jordy and Sneha are playing with Matt then. But then if it's Sneha and Jordy, and I think Sneha still goes with Matt, right? Is that what they did? I'm trying to remember now what they did last time, but that's going to be a really interesting matchup regardless, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, Jordy went with Sneha on some of the matches at the second day. I remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the mixed pairings were, but I want to say Sneha went with Matt every time she was out there. Yeah, because they had that chemistry built from last year too, right? So, but yeah, so it's going to be an awesome event. Like I said, I'm going to PVR it. I'm going to try and keep up to date because hopefully a bunch of the teams keep us up to date with their Instagram posts so we can see the scores right away. Because like I said, I got Game Plus on my Telus box, so I can record it. Vic doesn't, so Vic.
No, I can't watch it. Sorry.
Yeah, so
unless someone PayPal me to give me their share their football account. Otherwise, I can't. See them. If someone can share a football account for me, it'll be great. Should just I just want to. I'm not gonna watch anything else. I just gonna watch that CNPL.
Watch Pickleball.
I don't need anything else.
Yeah. And then they have been posting now. If you were someone who didn't have Game Plus for the last event and didn't get to see those matches, the CNPL is now uploading those onto their YouTube channel. Now they've broken them down game by game. They probably, and it's been 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. Yep.
So I think it's probably that's the amount of time you have to wait. One, for them to cut it down into individual games, but it's also probably something to do with the Game Plus contract.
True.
Right, so it's probably like, okay, if someone streamed it or someone had it on the app, you have to let Game Plus have the advantage for like the 2 weeks, and then you can upload it to your YouTube channel. So if you want to go see some of those games on Game Plus that you didn't get to see, head over. You can head over to the CNPL YouTube channel because they are uploading those games now, actually, as we speak. So. So yeah, so moving on, Vic, you got some paddles and stuff to talk about for Equipment Corner?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, always new paddles, people. Always new paddles. The Ripple R2 has finally came. So obviously you're like, why there's another version of Ripple? Well, if you remember, I said on the previous couple of pods, the Ripple beta version will be sunsetting in July 1st. So therefore, and this version actually from Rhombus, they worked with USAP to get it approved. They actually make sure that they really pass the PB core test. So if you go on the USAP paddle approved list website, they actually have a statement say in conjunction with Rhombus what happened and what's going to go on. So main reason is they want to avoid any confusion between the beta version and this version. So they just say, you know what, we're just gonna they list the beta version, and then everything's going to be approved on the V2 version. So if you look on this, if you have YouTube, so you can look at it. There's written V2 right there, so you know this is the approved paddle version that you have. What is new from this paddle? Obviously, they reinforce it a little bit more because in this paddle, they have some foam, and then they have some carbon fiber channels on the paddle. The beta version, it was like those carbon fiber was not very thick, and this one is much thicker, and they also compress the foam a little bit more. So therefore, those paddles are definitely much heavier. So the one that I currently have, the R1 version, which we call the elongated, for me, does not look elongated. It's more like a hybrid, but this is much more heavier than what you had before. The older R1 version from the beta is around the 113 swing weight from the one that I have. This one has over 123 swing weight, so it's like 10-point jump our swing weight. So it's much heavier to swing, and then obviously they have still have the R2 version, which we call this one, the R2 version, which is that we call the standard or the wide body. So a little bit the same thing. Swing weight went up from 107 to 118 almost. So another 10-point jump into the swing weight. For people who don't understand what is swing weight means how much forces you need to put on to swing a paddle. So the higher the number, the higher you need to put forces in order to swing this paddle. So it's a little bit more difficult to swing. There's advantage and disadvantage on a higher and lower swing weight. Lower swing weight means you're able to swing easier, especially in hand battles. It matters. A paddle is lighter. It's easier to do counters or hand battles. But having a higher swing weight paddle means when you're going to drive that ball, you have much more plow through, because now you have the weight of this paddle also coming through to on that ball. So those are kind of advantage and disadvantage, having a higher or lower swing weight. It depends on your style of play. And Rompers this year coming with a new shape we call the R4 shape. And this one, I will say, is will be the most popular shape. And a lot of other reviewers have been already saying that is because this is a truer hybrid shape. So if I put the R1 and the R4 in comparison, you can see the R1 is slightly longer on the top, and the R4 is slightly just wider on the top. So therefore, however, this one, the R4 has a much lower swing weight. It's around into the 115 swing weight, which is much more maneuverable compared to the other two I just showed you. I did play with this yesterday to try on. Obviously, because now they want to be consistent passing the PP core test, you do not have the same pop and power that you have with your beta version that you have. So which I have the beta version, so I know how much effortless that you can generate power and pop with the older version. This one, you're definitely not gonna get it. This one, but I'm not saying this is not powerful or poppy enough, but you're not gonna get that beta version or like Yola mod version kind of pop or power, which for me, when I played yesterday, I did not mind at all, because when I play with my with the Ripple beta version, a lot of times I feel I'm very tentative of swinging hard with this paddle, or even punching with that paddle, because I'm afraid that ball's gonna punch it too far, so hitting the ball out, or I'm giving a pop up for my opponent to kill me. Now with this paddle, I feel like I'm not as hesitant of driving with this paddle, swinging with this paddle, and even hand battles and dinking. I feel like I'm actually much more comfortable on playing with this Ripple, even though it's still a poppy paddle. I will say the amount of pop and power is still a bit better than the Yola Persis 4 at this point. So I will say this paddle kind of favors, I would say, one group of player versus the other. So I would say for a higher level player that hated this paddle because it was too powerful and too poppy, I would say now they're probably going to enjoy playing with this paddle, because now they will feel I have much more control and I still able to give power and pop with this paddle regardless. I was in versus for more a lower end level player, they probably will dislike this paddle because they were having those effortless drive, the effortless power and pop coming from this paddle, but now you're not going to get it. So therefore, you won't be able to win as much we call short points with this paddle versus on the higher level. You actually have to a lot of time you have to grind it out in order to win points, and which this paddle now can do that versus what it was before. So that's my feeling of this paddle. Obviously, I barely just play a couple of games with this. It might get harder. We don't know about the durability of this paddle and neither. So we're gonna see over time. But at this point, I like for a higher level player perspective, I do not have problem recommending this paddle. What is before, I was like, for higher level player, they won't like that so much pop, so much power from this paddle, because we are able to generate it ourselves already. So now it's like a good balance that is like this paddle is trying to aim for a more higher level player rather than actually a lower level player.
Yeah. Awesome. And Irene has, for those of you who were wondering about that Nivea KC Fusion that I showed a few weeks ago, Irene is getting used to it now, and holy crap, her overhead's even faster now.
Oh yeah, that paddle is so poppy.
I have trouble picking it up. She's getting more and more used to playing with it in like a doubles style now. We played at club on Wednesday, and normally if I'm back at the baseline and she slams it, I can at least get a paddle on it and like put it back over. Maybe not do much with it, but get it back over. This one was coming like that extra bit of speed, and I was like, there was a couple that blew right by me, and then like by the end of the game I was able to get my paddle on it more, but I was like, holy crap, that it just adds so much more to someone who already has so much power with her overhead. So
I definitely I can attest to that, because when we played during that baby shower, I was like, holy crap, this paddle was is definitely hot. But not mod level power like the mod Yola mod, but still quite significantly powerful compared to other paddles.
Yeah, and if you hit that sweet spot just right, holy crap, does that thing come off like a rocket. So for those of you who have to play Irene in future women's events, I apologize in advance. She might spank you pretty hard.
No, I'm not. She's playing with me in mixing a few months. I will just say you just eat it. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, I'm gonna say that too for our next one coming up, because our next one isn't until the season opener, I think.
Which is mid-June, right? In a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I think 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks in June. So I'm looking forward to that. So before we wrap up, Vic, I do have another blind ranking for you.
Sure, nice. We're back.
So this is best gifts for a pickleball player. So if you have a pickleball player in your life that you want to give a present to, these are going to be. So number 1 is the best gift. Number 5 is the worst gift. I think all these are still pretty good, but we'll go from there.
It depends on which kind of player. Like me having that much paddle, I don't know if you still want to give me another paddle.
Yeah. Exactly right. All right, so we're gonna start off with court shoes.
Court shoe is good, but the problem is sometimes I would say a lot of players are very finicky with their shoes, right? So I'll probably put it as 4, because people will be, well, do you really know my size, or do you know my how much I wear out that shoes? Like some people wear out their shoes in 3 months. So I don't know.
Yeah, so 4 and make sure you do your research type of thing.
Yeah,
like make
big
sure you know
time.
make sure you know what shoes they like. So backpack or paddle bag.
I'll put it pretty high. I'm actually put it 2 because there is not a lot of very good bags out there unless you do a little bit better research. And a lot of people are currently just using a tennis bag, or they're just regular backpacks, right? They don't really go to buy a proper pickleball bags for themselves. So I think this is a pretty good gift. So to actually say, hey, I know you're playing pickleball, so you should get something better.
Exactly. And if you want to go to Nivea.com and enter agorman15, you can get the Nivea bag.
Or you can get the kitchen bag, which is $300 US or whatever. No, you should you should get that. Sorry.
that better be a combined like Christmas and anniversary or Christmas and birthday gift type of thing if you're paying that much for a backpack.
I'll probably do a review of this bag eventually. So for you guys, like, why the hell you paying for $300 for a backpack?
Yeah, that's like one of those purses that's like that much when I go to my wife and I say, is that does that come with Wi-Fi?
Almost. It had magnet, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Safety glasses. So shout out to Kitchen Blockers, who sponsor me and Irene. Agorman 10 at checkout.
It's not too bad. I would say for like, this is a little bit controversial. I'm debating between a 3 and a 5 because you will always get people that's like, why I'm needing a safety glasses. You always have those people that are saying, I don't want to wear safety glasses. I just don't wear it. I don't see the reason behind wearing say safety glasses, right? Or you have the other way saying, oh well, the ball is coming so fast at me right now. I should actually wear safety glasses, but I just didn't find anything that fits my head or is fashionable. Like before Kitchen Blocker actually come in, I don't think there's good enough or fashionable enough safety glasses or safe. I will consider Kitchen Blocker more a safety rim more than safety glasses because they don't have lenses. Because a lot of people say, well, there's lens. I can't see a damn thing because of the lenses, right? So
yeah,
it's like, so I'll say between that 3 and 5, I'm giving myself a buffer right now.
So yeah, we
depends on which one.
No, you got to pick one. You don't get to go 3 or 5.
Oh, come on. Okay, I'll just put 3 for now.
Okay.
With the caveat, I can change.
No, you're locked in at 3 now. And then we got grip tape.
That's a 5. Guaranteed right away. Not saying you should not, but that looks cheap. Sorry, because everyone can get it.
So some grip tape is better than others. Like Irene actually recently has really liked the lizard skin one. She's put that on her 2 tournament paddles right now because she likes to be able to. She doesn't like a lot of padding. She likes to be able to like feel the handle. But she still wants a lot of grip. Like she doesn't want to feel like the paddle's slipping away. So she's really liked that one so far.
Yeah, and again, it's very touchy. Also on the grip, a lot of people's like, even though you give like amateur won't actually notice it, but for more higher level, they are very particular on their grip. A lot of people's like the grip size. I don't like having too much grip. I don't like something is too grippy, or the opposite. I don't want something too slippery. So it's a very tough gift to give to someone.
Yeah, exactly. And then your number one automatically is a new paddle.
All right, there you go, big time.
and of course with Vic can never get enough paddle, so that makes sense for Vic. So
obviously, paddle for me is my soul of pickleball, right? So you just you give me a paddle, I'll take it any time of the day. Even I have like 100+ paddle or whatever, I'll just take it regardless. I think paddles for everyone is a great gift, right? Because you for first of all for paddles, either you can give it to someone, if you have one, you can give it to someone else, or yourself, you can say, "Oh, I never tried this paddle. I want to try a new paddle." Like everyone wants to try the new paddles, right? So and nowadays, another thing that also with inflation, paddles getting more expensive and more expensive. People and the that's a little also fault of the paddle company. The paddle companies are making paddle that's not as durable as it was before, right? If you're thinking about a couple of years ago, like your Monarch paddle, your wood paddle never breaks, right? They just like unless you step on it or you intentionally break it, they will break, but you would not, like, it would be continue to be playable, right? But nowadays with like the foam, the thermoforming they added on there, like we have so much so much paddle issue these past year, like core crushing, edge guard falling off, pattern be instead of breaking down is getting too hot. So you're like, okay, what is the QC issue, guy? Like, guys, like you like when like what I'm coming from tennis. I rarely had to change racket. Like I may buy a racket every 2 to 3 years because I just need to change the strings, right? But I don't really need to buy a new racket because that racket is breaking. So and versus like pickleball, like if you talk to a higher level players, they have to change paddles every 3 to 6 months depending on their usage, which is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow. Like this paddle cost like almost $300, and I had to change it every 3 to 6 months in order to keep it at their peak performance. What the heck? This is a
Yeah.
lot. This is a lot of money.
No, exactly. Yeah. So at that point, you better hope you got a sponsor at that point, right? And even then, normally you're only getting maybe 1 to 2 paddles a year. So you gotta like you gotta play them out.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm starting to get a little annoyed at this part. Like paddle company not making um longer lasting paddle. Like I will say, if it's all the way to a year that I need to change, I will say this could be acceptable, right? Every year you have new paddles, granted, like that. If you want to be the latest of technology, 1 year is pretty good. But changing every 3 months, I'm sorry. Like this is and this paddle costs like almost $300 to $400. Why am I paying this money if I only can play 3 months out of it? This is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got to work on that. It's like, yeah, they're upping the performance ability, but then insanely decreasing the longevity of each one.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my rant against the paddle. Even though I like having more paddles, like like we should be able to spend our money wisely.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So that is it for this one, guys. Don't forget, this weekend coming up is the CNPL Eastern Split. It's going to be on Game Plus. So if you have it, tune in and watch it. 10 a.m. Eastern time is when the first game starts on the Saturday. And then 10 a.m. on Sunday is when it starts for the second day. I'll be PVRing it because, like I said, going camping with my wife and kids for our 17th anniversary. Happy anniversary to my wife, Irene.
Yes,
Um,
definitely. What was the date? Is it June? The CNPL was in June.
June 7th and 8th is the So
7 and 8. Yep.
our anniversary is June 7th, and it's from June 7th, 2008. So our actual wedding date is 6/7/8 on the
Oh my.
calendar.
6,
So
7, 8. Perfect.
so worked out really well. I didn't plan that originally; it just happened to work out that way.
It
So it's like-
lined up perfectly.
exactly right.
Easy.
So we will see you guys next week when we do a full recap on the Eastern Split. So make sure you tune in for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell all your friends about the podcast. Let's see if we can get our numbers up a little bit. I think what are we at? I'm just over 600 followers now on Instagram. So let's see if we can get up to get me up to 800. I don't want to say 1,000 yet. I know 1,000 is like the influencer level, or like the cutoff for like the influencer level. I'm not daydreaming that far ahead. But once we get that up, then we can maybe get some more sponsors and get more stuff coming into the podcast. That way we can bring you guys out more content on the regular.
Definitely. Please help us, guys. And on my end, we might be still into talks, but we'll probably start a new segment in the Pickleball Diary, also heavily focusing on equipment. So stay tuned to that. We'll make more announcement when it's more concrete on that.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that too. I've heard some of the synopsis for it already. So yeah, so we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we get that out. I don't know, like Wednesday or Thursday next week. This episode's going to come out. We're recording this on Friday, so probably Sunday. So it'll be a full week leading up to the Eastern Split. So make sure you tune in for that. Also, if you've been watching the CNPL Instagram, I'm the one writing the blurbs right now for the teams going into the event.
I see.
So I did the Brewers. They posted the Brewers already. They posted the Smash already. So they still got Toronto United and the Lions coming up. Yui just sent me a message and, hey, can you do a little blurb really quick for each team? So I'll be doing that for the Western Split as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So stay tuned for all that stuff, guys, and we will see you guys in a week.
See you all. Thank you for watching and listening.